EA Sports.
Here to begin this one is Cameron Dicker. Here we go on Monday Night Primetime. Josh Blackwell to return it. They'll have decent field position to begin with here. Rockies tackled just beyond that 30-yard line. So out come the Bears, ready for their first possession. And they're brought out by a player with immense expectations and promise in the league. He was picked first overall in 2024 out of USC, Caleb Williams.
He's somebody who has made a career of extending and creating plays. And there are oftentimes, Kate, where I just would sit aghast. How did he do that? How does he make that throw on the run? Now he's got to take the spectacular and just add a whole level of consistency.
They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down.
It's a gain of 10. First down, Chicago.
Staying grounded with Swift. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet. If you see a bigger play on the ground later on, largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
Williams to throw. And there's a catch for Luther Burden. And he doesn't get the chance to add on to that play, but this still has him across the midfield stripe all the way down to the opposing 42. All right, they look set now. Here we go, first and 10. Heads out on the bootleg. Bails out of the pocket quick. The pressure's there, and it closes in on him. He's dropped for the sack, and that is what should bring us to the end of this opening quarter. We're through one on Monday Night Primetime. A couple of zeros on the board right now. We're back to SoFi right after this. We're back and all set for the second quarter. Bears football. They have second and pretty long here. Out of the gun, here's Williams. Throwing for the back of the end zone. Too much on that, and it sails through the end zone, incomplete. Took his shot at 6 that time. And it's going to leave him with a tough third and long.
Down and 11.
To the air on third and long. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. They're looking for Luther Burden. And they're going to be stuck with a fourth and long.
Kate, I've talked to you over the years of the transition to the NFL where the windows to throw are small. On third down, smaller. Put dime defense on the field, and those windows become almost non-existent.
Williams throwing on fourth. He finds a Dunze downfield. And they're going to be set up just outside that red zone. That's going to be a 20-yard hit on fourth down, Brock. That keeps this drive moving. Coming in line for another first and 10. Again, it's Williams. Too much lead on that throw. That falls incomplete ahead of his target.
The lack of points and the lack of yards have just gone hand in hand here in the first half, and they both really trace back to the same root cause, an inability to consistently find and exploit any opening in what's been a very sound defensive game plan.
He locates a couple of yards through that chaos. That's Denzel Perryman in on a stop. Chargers sending out a dime look here ahead of this third down.
Brings up third down.
Third and long. They're going to throw. Looking for an pocket. Isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And they're staring at a fourth down now after that sack.
And it's fourth down.
The Bears bring on Cairo Santos for the field goal. This 42 yards from the right half. Santos' kick is good. All the way into the second quarter. Our opening drive ends in 3.
And if you're not going to pay a methodical drive off with a touchdown, that's the second best thing you can do. You can take all the time down, put points on the board, maybe a little momentum in heading into halftime.
And it looks like we're going to have time for one more play here, Brock, because this one goes for a touchback.
20-yard line.
Off the name, first of all, you ain't rap long enough. With me, you ain't strong enough. So whatever it is, they got you thinking that you Superman. I got the kryptonite. The mic, that's characters, not even good actors. What's gonna be the outcome? Let's add up all the factors. You whack, you twisted, your girls are home.
This going to be the play that takes us to halftime. Right to the air is Herbert. Now he'll heat this one deep down the right sideline. And his final shot of the half will not connect. That falls incomplete. No time remaining in our first half. Going on a bit of a speed run, it seems. We are flying past halftime and going right to the start of the third quarter. Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. And we'll have to wait at least a few moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback. The Chargers and Omarion Hampton out there on offense once again. And their defense sure has kept this game close. Now it's time for them to come through, get some points for their team in this low-scoring affair. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete.
That's a throw at this level. So much speed and length, you got to be real careful. Rarely do you find a clean window down the middle. It'd be absolutely perfect, and it wasn't there.
They'll try again from the 20 after the incompletion. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Going to the left side, and Johnston has it. And this is brought to a stop up at the 34-yard line now. They pick up 14 yards on that one. And that's going to be good for an LA first down.
Chargers, first down. First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Herbert now off the play fake. Escapes the pocket. He's running with it. And they're going to have this up at the 44-yard line as they hunt him down. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a first down.
You know, that's one of those little mental Rolodex plays. Right before the snap, you know if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the first down.
Has him on the quick hitter. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
A gain of 5 brings up second and 5 at their 49-yard line.
All right, we reached the final quarter of Monday Night Prime Time. The Chargers have the ball, and they're going to need to score. They come in trailing. Halfway to the marker. It's second and 5.
Set. Go.
He'll look to throw it. He finds Johnston. And they're going to keep moving forward, Brock, down inside the opposing 30. That goes as a gain of 25 yards and picks up the first.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them the first down.
Maybe a bit of desperation. Here's a deep shot. Oh, that's a tough one. Couldn't bring in the touchdown clean. It falls incomplete. It's going to be second down. Didn't see a whole lot of room to fit that pass in, Brock. It takes a special quarterback to thread the needle. He couldn't do it.
You know what that's like? That's like passing across your own crease in hockey, Kate. That's a big no-no. When you challenge double coverage in the end zone, and let me tell you, coaches don't really like that either.
Connects on the crosser. And he's going to be dropped with a big hit at the end of that. The effort still sets him up with a first and goal. Timeout called by the Chargers. They're first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
Got that chip shot in their back pocket to tie it. A chance at the lead here first, though. First and goal. Here he is to throw. And that's a touchdown. The catch is made, and they lead just before the end of this game. Absolutely clutch score there, Brock, as they take the lead here in the final minutes.
Incredible execution. The moment not too big for any of them. And Kate, they cashed in when it really mattered.
Now Herbert and the Chargers going for 2.
The Chargers will line up
to throw.
with a 2-point conversion.
And on able to connect on that throw, so they're still ahead. Now they just have to defend it over the final seconds here. So the newly found lead stays where it is, and now I'd expect to see them just boot this away and prevent any type of return.
Yeah, this is where you love a kicker with a big old leg. Don't even let them return it. The squib kick can be dangerous. I think that was the play, Kate, like 20 years ago. But the QBs today and how quickly they move the ball just send this one through the end zone.
Back out comes the Chicago offense for their second drive. And this pressure has been playing volleyball in this fourth quarter, partner. That touchdown just serves it over their way. Now they need a touchdown to return serve, put it back on the other sideline.
Yeah, I like what you did there. And I'll keep the analogy going. We're in the final set, and it almost feels now like a must-score drive.
Encroachment on that previous play, and that makes this a much shorter 1st and 5. Setting up to pass. Trying to push deep downfield. And that's going to fall incomplete. We're down to 9 seconds left.
Intended for Romo Goodson. Incomplete. Brings up second down and 5 yards to go.
Fire pass, no good, so here comes second down. Working from the gun, Williams. Maybe a bit of desperation. Here's a deep shot. This is brought in at the 15. And he's in, and that's a touchdown. And with almost no time left, he just likely won them this game.
Santos,
A receiver this skilled, well, he's got every route in his back pocket. But sometimes simple is better. No complicated cuts, no double moves. You just go run right by him.
That one right down the middle. And the Bears take a 4-point lead. Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. This one winds up as a touchback, so they're going to have one final snap to work with.
At their own 20-yard line.
Chargers getting set. 1st and 10.
Set.
One final shot here. Trying to push deep downfield. And this one falls incomplete. No miracles on the final drive today. This game is over. So the Bears come away with the win.